Hey guys, it's Kyle with White Collar Wisdom, and today we're going to be reviewing some of the most common mistakes that are made on resumes. I'm going to show you what they are, what they might say about you, and how you can fix them to look as good as possible in that little tiny paper version of you that you send out into the hiring world. So without any further delay, let's jump right into it. Just in case you haven't had a chance to check out my About Me video, I'll tell you that over the years I've personally made the hiring decision for thousands of employees, and I have seen well over 10,000 resumes. So I'm going to cover some of the common mistakes that hiring managers see on resumes and show you what you can do to correct them so that you look as good as possible in the paper version of yourself. Number one, it's too long, and it doesn't have to be. Your resume is too long. You probably have information on there that you don't need to have anymore. And this happens over time. It's not necessarily that we tried to do this or we wanted to fluff our resume, but when we only had one or two jobs, we listed a lot of things so it filled that page. The problem is that when we started doing more jobs later on in our careers, we never trimmed those down or made them fit or even reviewed what was in them probably. So the tip here is don't inadvertently tell a hiring manager that you don't care about their time by giving them 3 pages worth of irrelevant crap when you've only had a job for the last 11 years. Go through and trim it down. In most cases, your most recent job should have the most information underneath it. Now, let me start from the basics here. What we should see on a resume is company, job title, dates employed. Underneath that, we want to have bullet points. There should not be any paragraphs written about what you loved about the company or the story of how you fell in love with it or how you got along with the coworkers there. That's stuff that we talk about later if needed. Those are interview responses, if even that. You want to have what you've accomplished, what you've implemented, and in your most recent job, you want to have what you've been responsible for. Now, this should ideally be catered to match what the job description posted was. So for example, if it said they want somebody that's going to be responsible for these 4 bullet points, if you currently do those things in your job you have now or your most recent job, those need to be in those bullet points. What does not need to be in the bullet points for your job 10 years ago is that as the sales manager, you were responsible for the sales performance of your team. It's understood. As you go down your resume and as you get further into your job history, you should have fewer and fewer bullet points. I don't need you to get a list of 15 bullet points from a job you had 12 years ago. It is almost irrelevant to me. The whole point of having your job history on your resume is to show that not only can you do this, and you've recently been doing it, but that you have a proven track record of being successful at it for a long period of time. I don't necessarily need to know the exact details of every single job. I just need to know what you accomplished there, and most importantly, what you can do for my company now when you come here. Number 2, it's full of errors. These could be spelling, grammar. You might have had 2 jobs recently and you never updated the one before the one that you just had. So that one says 2010 to present, and then this one says 2016 to present. Well, apparently, according to my resume, I'm currently working at 2 jobs. Boy, oh boy, am I amazing. I'm coming here to take on a 3rd one. So this might seem like it's not a big deal, but this can show somebody if there's this and other errors, like maybe a spelling error here, and it might not even be a misspelled word. For example, sometimes we see manger instead of manager written on resumes. And again, it's a silly mistake, and of course spell check didn't catch it, but it shows me that somebody probably didn't take the time to reread this resume. Or even worse, they can't spell manager. I don't even know which one of those is worse. But if you've got a bunch of errors in your resume, and again, these are not big deals. Like if somebody has 1 misspelling on their resume, it's not the end of the world. What a bunch of these things piled up though over the course of a full page or 2 is that you do not have any sort of attention to detail. Now this matters in every job. If you have an inattention to detail, okay, so for example, the date one, I have 2 jobs that say, such and such date to present, right? But I'm not actually working them. Okay, well, if you'll screw up a date on your resume, right? This is you putting your best foot forward on one piece of paper. If you'll screw up that date, how do I know you'll write the right delivery date for a customer that you sold? How do I know that you're not going to screw that up too? How do I know your expense report's not going to be full of inaccurate information too? It's a bunch of inaccurate details across your resume says to somebody, I can't pay attention to details. I don't sweat the details. I just do whatever I want to do and I can't be bothered to check my work. You do not want that message coming across for you. And number 3 is focusing too much on presentation and not enough on content. All flash and no bang. Is that what you want to tell somebody that you're all about? So here's the example of that one. I know that Microsoft Word and even Indeed and a lot of you can find online plenty of templates for resumes. And you look through them and they all look the same. Man, you see that one that's got that bright red triangle in the corner and those squiggly lines down the side that take up a whole column of the page. You think, wow, that's cool. It jumps, it pops out, it stands out to me. Well, here's the bad news first. Number 1, The hiring manager that's reading your resume has already seen that 15 times today. You are not unique. You are not an individual amazing snowflake of the universe. I've already seen it. It doesn't matter to me. I care what's in your resume. I care about the content that's in your resume as the hiring manager. That person is going to sign their name off and say, this person can get the job done. And most cases, the person hiring you is the person that you will either directly or indirectly work for. So do you want to tell this person, look, all I care about is putting on a show. I don't actually have anything good to offer the company. No, you want that content. You want those relevant bullet points about all the things I've achieved, all the awards that I've won over the years, all the times that I've been nominated for things. That's what I want you looking at. I want you to see what I've done in the past. And the implication is I will be able to continue to do that in the future for your company. I'm going to make you look good by you hiring me. I'm not going to hire somebody who's a dud and then go to all my colleagues and say, look, I know he didn't have any experience, but would you just look at this resume? Would you just look at it? Look at that red triangle. Never mind that stupid template you picked took up a whole column of the page, and now I'm looking at a 4-page resume for somebody that's had 6 jobs over the last 4 years. Like, we got problems here. Focus on content. Focus on putting the best version of you possible on paper. So this next part's going to be kind of like a 2.0 to what we already talked about. This is taking it to the next level. We touched a little bit on one of these things, and that's catering the resume to the job you're applying for. If this job lists out the job description of these things, we need to make sure that if our current job we're at or our most recent job that we just left had those similar job responsibilities, that we actually list those as our responsibilities. We want our most recent and most relevant experience to be matching what they're looking to fill right now. Every hiring manager dreams of the employee that is just plug and play. Yes, you're hired. Oh my gosh, day 3, they're already doing everything right. It doesn't exist. It's not realistic because everybody needs training. But the idea is that if we can get as close to plug and play as possible, we're going to be a hiring manager's dream. They're going to think, this is perfect. This is exactly what we're looking for. Let's get them in here for the interview, okay? And another part about that is going to be follow directions of the job posting. If the job posting says apply in person with such and such, apply in person with such and such. If it says email your resume to this person, do that. If it says apply online, even if it's one of those stupid annoying ones where you have to manually enter your whole resume on 12 different screens, whatever, do it. If you want the job, show them that you can type a few things. And then the final thing is going to be cover letter. Write a damn cover letter. It's like 5 sentences, okay? It tells somebody that I care enough about this job to write you a quick note saying that I'd like to have it. I'm not the person who sent my resume to 40 different companies and I don't really care who it was or what it is, just need a job. I took the time to send you a few quick words and I want to work here, okay? So, bonus, yes, I will give you a sample cover letter text right now. Feel free to change the details to match the job you're applying for, but here it is. I'm going to put it on the screen and in the description below. Ready? Dear hiring manager, thanks for taking a moment to consider me for the position of the regional sales manager. My resume will show you that I have a proven track record of success in this type of role over the past 15 years. I've always liked ABC Company, and when I saw this opportunity come available, I knew I immediately had to reach out. I look forward to speaking with you about what my background and expertise can do for you. Sincerely, Kyle. You're welcome in advance for all the interviews you get now, and thanks again for watching White Collar Wisdom.